All right, Corrales Cubs, we are going to get started here with our scary stories. I'll give everybody a little bit of time to get into our YouTube channel. So until then, Miss Chris and I are going to tell some jokes. So, hey, Miss Chris, did you hear about the monster who ate her own house?
A monster that ate her own house? What?
Yeah, she got really homesick. What about did you know what a skeleton's favorite instrument is?
I have no idea.
It's a trombone.
As is a skeleton.
Hey, Miss Chris, do you know what type of coffee does a vampire drink?
Definitely nothing with garlic in it.
No, they don't want the garlic latte. A vampire likes to drink decaffeinated coffee.
Decaffeinated. Love
All
it.
right, I can see we're getting a lot of folks coming in. I'm posting your comments as I go through them. I just want to give all of our Cubs a reminder that they can send a picture of them in their costumes over to Corrales PTA at corralespta.com, and they'll be included in our costume collage, which we'll show sometime later this week. So just because some Halloween events are canceled doesn't mean we can't still have a little bit of fun and dress up in our costumes. I also have seen a lot of the amazing pumpkins that were dropped off at school today. We'll be posting some pictures on Dojo, and also just a reminder, we'll be posting the auction link later as well. So we're so excited to see everybody, and I see folks coming in as we go through. Miss Chris, I think it is 7:01, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you to tell some very scary, how about some not so scary stories for Monday night?
Thank you so much, Principal Liv. Good evening, Corrales Cubs. I'm so happy to see you all tonight. I hope you're going to enjoy the two stories that I've picked out for not so scary stories. Some of you are really familiar with them, and some of you asked me to read them again. So I'm going to start with one of my favorites, and I hope it'll be one of yours as well. And if you have a chance, I do know it is streaming online. Make sure you ask your parents' permission beforehand. But we are going to read Room on the Broom. Are you ready? We got this. So I'm looking at this book, and I just realized I missed something super, super important. There's someone super important that writes the words, and her name is Julia Donaldson. What do you think her job is? That's right. She's the author. The author writes the words. You guys know this song? I hope you're at home singing it right now. You ready? Let's get into some not so scary stories. The witch had a cat and a hat that was black and long ginger hair in a braid down her back. How the cat purred and how the witch grinned as they sat on their broomstick and flew through the wind. But how the witch wailed and how the cat spat when the wind blew so wildly it blew off her hat. Down, cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the hat, but no hat could be found. Then out of the bushes, on thundering paws, there bounded a dog with the hat in his jaws. He dropped it politely and then eagerly said, as the witch pulled the hat firmly down on her head, I am a dog, as keen as can be. Is there room on the broom for a dog like me? Yes, cried the witch, and the dog clambered on. The witch tapped her broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the fields and forest they flew. The dog wagged his tail, and the stormy wind blew. The witch laughed out loud, and she held on to her hat. But away blew the bow from her braid, just like that. Wonder what's going to happen next. Down, cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the bow, but no bow could be found. Then, out from a tree, with an ear-splitting shriek, there flapped a green bird with the bow in her beak. She dropped it politely, and she bent her head low, and then said, as the witch was tying her braid back in her, I'm a bird, as green as can be. Is there room on the broom for a bird like me? Yes, cried the witch. So the bird fluttered on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the reeds and rivers they flew. The bird shrieked with glee, and the stormy wind blew. They shot through the sky to the back of beyond, and the witch, she clutched onto her bow, but she let go of her wand. Down, cried the witch, and they flew to the ground. They searched for the wand, but no wand could be found. Pretty stormy weather they have. Then, all of a sudden, from out of a pond leaped a dripping wet wand and a frog. This frog, he dropped it politely and then said with a croak, as the witch dried the wand off on the fold of her cloak, I am a frog, as clean as can be. Is there room on the broom for a frog like me? Yes, said the witch. So the frog bounded on. Jump. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Over the moors and the mountains they flew. The frog jumped for joy. Do you guys see that frog? Think he's pretty happy there. But the broom snapped in too. Down fell the cat, and down the dog and the frog. Down they went tumbling into a bog. The witch's half broomstick flew into a cloud, and the witch, her roar, that was scary and loud. Getting a little nervous. I wonder what's going to happen, guys. I am a dragon as mean as can be, and you, witch, look like a good supper to me. No, cried the witch, as she flew higher and higher. The dragon flew after her, breathing out fire. Help, cried the witch, flying down to the ground. She looked all around, but no help could be found. The dragon got nearer and started to drool. He said, I won't let you go. Do you think I'm a fool? I hope she gets away. But just as he planned to begin his feast, from out of a ditch rose a horrible beast. It was tall, dark, sticky, feathered, and furred. Put on your imaginations, guys. What do you think is coming up? It had 4 frightful heads, and it had wings like a bird. And its terrible voice, when it started to speak, was a yowl and a growl and a croak and a shriek, and it dripped and it squelched and it strode from the ditch, and it said to the dragon, "Buzz off, that's my witch." What do you guys think you'd do if you saw something that scary? I'd run away too. The dragon drew back and he started to shake. "I'm sorry," he spluttered. "I made a mistake. It's nice to have met you, but now I must fly." And he spread out his wings and was off through the sky. Then down flew the bird, and down jumped the frog. Down climbed the cat, and phew, said the dog. "And thank you, oh thank you," the grateful witch cried. "Without you, I'd be in that dragon's inside." She seems to be very thankful, and if you see, the dragon is flying away. Then the witch filled up her cauldron and said with a grin, "Find something, everyone. Throw something in." So the frog found a lily, and the cat found a cone. The bird found a twig, and the dog, what do you think he found? He found a bone. They threw them all in, and the witch stirred them well. And while she was stirring, she muttered a spell. Higgity, ziggity, zaggity, zoom. Then out rose a truly magnificent broom, with seats for the witch and the cat and the dog, a nest for the bird, and a pool for the frog. "Yes," cried the witch, and they all jumped on. The witch tapped the broomstick, and whoosh, they were gone. Thank you for listening to this story. I hope you enjoyed it. In the message board, if you did, give me a silent thumbs up.
That was such a great story. I'm just going to give a shout out to some of the kids and families that I see have popped in here. I want to say hi to Bryson and Colton Caraway, and I know they're wondering how long we're going to be on. I think Miss Chris has one more story, and then I need to send everybody to brush their teeth and come back and show me that they're all clean so I can do an inspection on the clean teeth. I want to say hi to Rosie and Ruby Black. I know you all are in here. And hey to Lucas Hernandez. It's good to see you came to our Scary Stories night. I know Abigail is here, and so is Emma Tomlinson. It's so good to see everybody, and I'm glad we still get to have some fun with Scary Stories. I'll bet Thomas and Max Carper are here, and I'm pretty sure Eloise and Maisie are watching from the other room. Hey to Trent and Lance Yarbrough. It's good to see that you guys are here. And I'm sure I'm missing people. I'll keep going through the feed and saying hello as Miss Chris reads her next story. So I'll turn it over to her for her next one.
All righty, Corrales Cubs. One more story before bed. And this one, I promise, is not super scary. It's actually a new book I found last year, and I really enjoy it because what state do we all live in? That's right. We live in New Mexico. So I found this super cute book called A Halloween Scare in New Mexico. And I think when I flip through the pages as I'm reading, you're going to see some places you might have been to before or you might recognize. So I hope you like it. Prepare, if you dare, a Halloween scare in New Mexico. Prepare, if you dare, for a tale full of chills, a story of frightful New Mexico thrills, a night filled with sights that are best left unseen. Are you ready? Are you sure? This was my Halloween. Kind of hard to see, but there's somebody super famous right there. And then I see some other things going on that we would recognize. The werewolves howled loudly. Ow! The moon shone so bright. I stayed in my bedroom. The curtains shut tight. My heart started pounding. My knees felt so weak. But being a brave kid, I just had to peek. I pulled back the curtains, my mouth open wide. An army of monsters had gathered outside. They staggered and they stumbled and they lurched down the streets with bags full of cookies and candy corn treats. And emerging from the sewers and houses and stores came creatures and critters with ravenous roars. Then more came along from all over the state. They filled up the streets at a dizzying rate. From Deming and Roswell and Farmington too, a mountain of monsters, the motliest crew, all gathered together for one spooky night to seek out the living and give them a fright. The thunder clapped loudly with terrible booms. The witches dodged lightning and clung to their brooms. The two-headed dogs tried chasing their tails, and banshees let loose with their hideous wails. The vampires hung out on the street in their gangs and grinned just to show off their pearly white fangs. The mummies moaned loudly and swayed side to side, while Frankenstein stomped about town with his new bride. A green, glowing monster crawled out of white sands and lunged for the locals with large melted hands. The isotopes noted that his hands and his stature were pretty awesome. And one season later, he was their star catcher. The aliens came from a faraway sun and dressed up like humans for frolics and fun. And the prickly Mojave cacti grew feet and chased all the tourists the length of Main Street. Hopefully, when we get to go back, the isotopes might have that green monster as their catcher. What do you think? The creepies were crawly and the crazies were crazed. The Las Cruces zombies had eyes that were glazed And the ogres from Roswell were ugly as sin, with big bulging noses and warts on their chin. The ghouls danced around but were lacking in soul. Gargoyles could rock, and the headless could roll. Although the whole spectacle seemed to spell doom, I foolishly thought I'd be safe in my room. But then something happened that made my heart jump from somewhere below me. I heard a big thump, and I froze. Quiet as a mouse. Yes, I could hear noises coming from inside of my house. I put on my slippers and pulled on my robe, and I shook like a leaf. I don't think it showed. Then slowly but surely, I crept down the stairs, preparing myself for the biggest of scares. My hands trembled, and I opened the door. I still shudder now at the horrors I saw. The stereo was playing some hideous sounds as dozens of monsters jumped madly around. The sight was horrific. It made my skin crawl. These monsters were having their Halloween ball. And right in the middle, one monster loomed tall. The hairiest, scariest monster of all. You guys ready? He turned around and saw me, and I fell to my knees. I'm not very tasty, so please don't eat me. He beamed ear to ear and broke free from the huddle. He ran over and gave me a big monster cuddle. He's not so scary. At last, we have found you, he said with a smile. From Gallup to Carlsbad, we've looked for a while. We came here to give you your wonderful prize. He held up a trophy in front of my eyes. A prize? For me? I replied with a grin. What did I enter, and how did I win? You have won the first prize for the costume you're wearing. It even scares me, and I'm tip-top at scaring. A prize? What? This isn't a costume. I'm just dressed as me. Exactly. The scariest thing you can be. A small human child with a cute button nose. And your teeth are so shiny, you have only 10 toes. No hair on your face, and no horns on your head. The whites of your eyes are not glowing or red. What a bone-chilling costume. A horrible sight. A worthy ensemble for Halloween night. This monster is afraid of kids. We partied together until the moon set. A Halloween night that I'll never forget. And next year, I won't want to hide in my bed. The monsters won't scare me. I'll scare them instead. I hope you guys liked it. This is one of my new faves.
Oh my gosh, that was so cute and funny. I know we have a few more kids I want to say hi to. Hi to Henry W. I'm glad you were able to make it. And I know that Hazel and Hendrix Trujillo are in here watching some scary stories, listening to some scary bedtime stories. So I wanted to say hey to them. And of course, I have to say hello to Shepherd and Gracie Huss. I'm glad you came for your first scary stories. Even if it's not at school, we still get to have some of the same traditions. So it is just about 7:30, and I know that's right around bedtime. It snowed a lot outside. It's getting dark earlier and earlier as we transition from summertime into fall. So I'm hoping all of you can go brush your teeth, make sure you have your pajamas on, snuggle up in bed, because tomorrow is definitely not going to be a snow day. We will see you all back on Google Meet at 8:45 for another great day of learning from your home, but also with all of our Corrales teachers. All right. I will put the link for our pumpkin auction in the chat below when we post the video to our school's YouTube. And it will also go out to email with your parents. We have some really amazing and adorable pumpkins. And I have a feeling I'm going to be spending a lot of money on some pumpkins in this auction. I think it's going to be really fun. All right. So I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. I hope you have not so scary dreams. What about you, Miss Chris?
I hope I don't have any scary dreams, but I just wanted to stay warm, sleep well, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
All right. Good night, Eden. Good night, Henry. Good night, Bryson. Good night, Colton. Good night, Shepherd. Good night, Emma. Good night, Max. Good night, Thomas. And good night, all the rest of the Corrales Cubs that I couldn't get through. We will see you on Google Meet tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye.